Well, we know Marvel Studios has been going through a series of changes, and many of those are financial. Now we got a super interesting report on Echo, and how it seems this show may have redefined how Marvel makes their television shows because it's the cheapest MCU show to date. We've also got a little update on a possible second season, so let's dive into exactly what Echo costs, how it kind of birthed the new Marvel Spotlight subgenre, and if we are going to get to see a season 2. Now before we do that though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently, so you are really in the know. Well, after a few delays, Echo was finally released on Disney Plus earlier this month. And despite some talks of behind-the-scenes issues, which apparently saw the show go from 6 to 5 episodes, well, the Hawkeye follow-up kind of broke some interesting records for Marvel Studios. Now, as many of you know, it was Marvel's first TVMA under the new Marvel Spotlight, which we found out shortly before Echo came out is going to be where Marvel drops a lot of street-level and character-oriented stories, aka stories they can develop for a much lower budget. And that's really where Echo comes in, because this is, well, for me, pretty stunning. Apparently, the whole production for Echo came in at only $40 million. Now, there was originally 6 episodes, and that means each episode came in at roughly about $7 million each, which is incredibly cheap for Marvel Studios. Now, keep in mind, some other shows like Secret Invasion and She-Hulk, which were both at about $212 million, that means Echo cost about 20% of what those projects cost, was probably more successful than both of them, and is absolute proof Marvel can make TV shows for a lot less than the cost of a movie. Now, based on the information we currently have, this makes Echo, by far, Marvel's cheapest television series they've ever produced. Many people don't even realize this, but Hawkeye cost almost as much as She-Hulk, as did WandaVision, and shows like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, and Loki all came in at about the $150 million mark. Now, obviously, VFX and some locations really drove the cost on these projects, but given how popular Netflix Marvel's offerings were in the beginning, which focused much on story than special effects, and compare that to the success that Echo is having, well, you can see where Marvel might be going with all of this. Keep in mind, the very first season of Daredevil several years ago cost $50 million. So this is pretty cheap by anybody's standard, and likely is going to save Marvel on the TV front. Now, the big question is, will we see more of this in Daredevil Born Again? And that's kind of hard to say. Originally, that was 18 episodes. Now we're hearing it's 13 episodes, and it's had a big overhaul, so I don't think they're going to be able to keep the cost as low, but I do think we're going to see a lot more of this street-level grit, which fans responded positively to, and cost Marvel less money. That sounds like it's a win-win for everybody. Now, as for a season 2 of Echo, we did get a minor update from Kira Kelly, who was the cinematographer for the project, when she spoke recently with The Direct. When asked about the possibility of a second season, she said, "I'm not sure about that. I feel like the world, anything that we could see a la Cox would be amazing." Which sounded like the sort of standard response that, hey, the people that created the show want to do more, and are just waiting for the word from Marvel. Now, Cox was recently spotted in New York City, which has led to some speculation Echo could be part of Daredevil Born Again. That does make a lot of sense, since it's continuing the story of Wilson Fisk, but none of that has been confirmed as of yet. Obviously, we're going to keep a close eye on Echo. Season 1 was a lot of fun and a return to storytelling I was glad to see Marvel do, and I am totally looking forward to more from Marvel Spotlight.